You're paying $2,500 every single month just for the privilege of being middle class. And I can prove it. I'm not talking about your rent or your mortgage. I'm talking about the invisible tax that gets extracted from you simply because you make between $50,000 and $100,000 a year. The exact income range where the system is designed to keep you running in place forever. Banks profit from it. Your employer benefits from it. The tax code is structured around it. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the receipt, line by line, dollar by dollar, of exactly where your money goes and who's collecting it. My name is Sam, and today we're doing something nobody else has done. We're calculating the total cost of being middle class in America. And once you see these numbers, you'll never look at your paycheck the same way again. Let me take you back to 1975 for a second. A middle-class family, let's say a dad who's a factory worker making the median income of about $13,000 a year. His wife stays home with 2 kids. They live in a 3-bedroom house that costs $35,000, which is about 2.7 times his annual salary. Here's what that family could afford. On a single middle-class income, the mortgage payment was about 20% of his take-home pay. Health insurance was mostly covered by his employer, and when they went to the doctor, a visit cost maybe $10 out of pocket. The kids went to decent public schools regardless of which neighborhood they lived in because schools were funded more equitably. College tuition at a state university was about $2,500 a year. Half a summer's work could cover it. They owned 1 car, and it cost about $4,000 new. They had money left over for savings, a vacation, and Friday night dinners out. Now here's the kicker, that dad could lose his job, and the family had a backup plan. The mom could enter the workforce if needed. They had margin, they had breathing room, they had what economists call economic resilience. Fast forward to today. Let's meet Sarah. She's 34, makes $75,000 a year as a marketing manager. She's college educated, works hard, does everything she's supposed to do. Her partner makes $65,000 as an IT specialist. Combined household income, $140,000. They should be crushing it, right? They make more than twice what that 1975 factory worker made when you adjust for inflation. Instead, they're stressed. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They've got maybe $8,000 saved up, and that's being generous. When their car needed an unexpected $1,200 repair last month, it went on a credit card. They're 1 bad month away from financial disaster. Both of them are working full-time, they're exhausted, they barely see each other, and they're constantly wondering, we make $140,000 a year. Where does it all go? Here's where it goes. And this is what nobody has calculated before. The middle class tax has 12 distinct categories. Not all of them apply to everyone, but if you're making between $50,000 and $100,000, at least 8 of these are hitting you right now. Let me list them first, then we'll break down the math, the housing premium, the transportation trap, the childcare penalty, the education inflation, the healthcare gouge, the debt service tax, the banking fee extraction, the insurance racket, the convenience tax, the career maintenance cost, the social pressure spending, and the retirement shortfall. Now, before your eyes glaze over, stay with me, because I'm going to show you exactly how much each one costs Sarah and her partner. Real numbers, real math. And by the end, you're going to see why $2,500 a month, $30,000 a year, is not an exaggeration. Category 1. The housing premium. Remember that 1975 family buying a house for 2.7 times their income? Sarah and her partner are looking at houses that cost 5 to 6 times their combined income. The median home price in their market is $425,000. That's exactly 6 times what that 1975 worker made relative to home prices. But here's the invisible tax. Sarah can't buy that house on her $75,000 income alone like the $1,975 worker could. She needs both incomes. Both she and her partner are locked into their jobs forever because the mortgage requires both paychecks. The premium isn't just the higher price-to-income ratio. It's the loss of the backup plan. It's the loss of flexibility. It's the stress of knowing that if either of them loses their job, they lose the house. But let's get specific. That $425,000 house with 10% down at current rates means they're paying about $2,800 a month in mortgage payments. In 1975, the equivalent mortgage was about $250 a month, which was 20% of that worker's income. For Sarah, 20% of combined income would be $2,333 a month. She's paying $2,800. The difference, $467 a month, is the first part of the middle-class tax, but we're not done. In 1975, that house was in a decent school district by default. Today, Sarah has to pay a premium to live in a good school district. Houses in bad school districts in her area cost about $320,000. Houses in good school districts cost $425,000. That's a $105,000 premium for access to decent public education. On a 30-year mortgage, that's an extra $135 a month. Category 1 total, $602 per month. Category 2, the transportation trap. The 1975 family had one car. Sarah's household needs two because they both work and their jobs aren't near each other. Car first, $380 a month payment. Car second, $320 a month payment. But here's the tax. That second car exists purely because they both work. If one of them didn't work, they could share a car or use public transit occasionally. The entire second car is a cost of maintaining two incomes. Add in insurance for two cars, $280 a month. Gas for both, $300 a month. Maintenance and repairs, $150 a month averaged out. Total transportation, $1,430 a month. The 1975 family spent about 15% of income on transportation. For Sarah, that would be $1,750 a month. She's spending $1,430, so she's actually under. But here's the tax, $320 of that second car payment wouldn't exist if she could live on one income like the 1975 family. Plus, both Sarah and her partner spend 45 minutes each way commuting. That's 90 minutes a day, 7.5 hours a week, 390 hours a year. If you value their time at even $25 an hour, below their salary, that's $9,750 in lost time annually, or $812 a month. Category 2 total, $450 per month. Category 3, the childcare penalty. The 1975 family had built-in childcare, the stay-at-home parent. Sarah has two kids, ages 3 and 5. Childcare costs $1,800 a month. Wait, you're saying that's more than $1,200. Here's the math. Sarah's after-tax income is about $55,000 a year, $4,583 a month. Childcare is $1,800. After taxes on the second income, she's netting about $2,783 a month after childcare. But the 1975 family had free childcare and a parent who had time to cook, clean, manage the household. Sarah and her partner are paying for convenience services because they're both exhausted. Meal kit services, $240 a month. House cleaning twice a month, $200 a month. Laundry service occasionally, $60 a month. Category 3 total, $1,200 per month. Category 4, the education inflation. The 1975 workers' kids went to college for $2,500 a year. Today, state school tuition is $25,000 a year. Sarah is saving $400 a month in 529 college savings plans for both kids. But here's the tax. She'll need about $200,000 saved by the time each kid turns 18 to cover 4 years of school. At her current savings rate, she'll fall short by about $80,000 per kid. The 1975 family didn't need to save for college at all. The kid worked a summer job and paid tuition. Sarah's kids will graduate with debt even though she's saving $400 a month. Category 4 total, $200 per month. Category 5, the healthcare gouge. The 1975 worker had employer health insurance that covered almost everything. Sarah's employer covers 70% of her premium. She pays $380 a month for family coverage. Her deductible is $3,000, and her out-of-pocket max is $8,000. Last year, her family hit about $4,500 in medical expenses after insurance. That's $375 a month averaged out. But here's the real tax. The 1975 family paid maybe $20 a month out of pocket for all health care. For Sarah to pay the equivalent adjusted for inflation, she should be paying about $85 a month. She's paying $380 plus $375. That's $755 a month. Category 5 total, $420 per month as the excess over what healthcare used to cost. Category 6, the debt service tax. The 1975 family had no student loans. College was affordable. Sarah has $45,000 in student loans at 6% interest. Monthly payment, $500. Her partner has $38,000 at 5.5%. Monthly payment, $420. Total, $920 a month. Here's the tax. This debt exists because college costs exploded. The 1975 family paid zero for this category. But Sarah also has $8,000 in credit card debt from unexpected expenses she couldn't afford. At 18% APR, she's paying $180 a month in interest alone while the balance barely moves. Category 6 total, $180 per month in credit card interest that wouldn't exist with a proper emergency fund. Category 7, the banking fee extraction. The 1975 family paid zero in banking fees. Sarah pays overdraft fees about $70 a year from occasional timing issues. ATM fees about $60 a year from out-of-network withdrawals. Account maintenance fees $12 a month. Wire transfer fees about $40 a year. Low balance fees about $84 a year when savings dips. Total about $660 a year, $55 a month. The 1975 family had free checking and never paid fees because they had enough buffer that they never overdrafted. Category 7 total, $55 per month. Category 8, the insurance racket. Beyond health insurance, Sarah pays car insurance $280 a month, already counted in transportation. Renters or home insurance, $180 a month. Life insurance, $85 a month to protect against loss of dual income. Disability insurance, $65 a month because losing either income equals catastrophe. The 1975 family needed less insurance because they had built-in insurance, the ability for the non-working spouse to enter the workforce if needed. Category 8 total, $90 per month. The excess life plus disability insurance that exists purely because of dual income dependency. Category 9, the convenience tax. Both Sarah and her partner work 45+ hours a week. They're exhausted. This creates spending on convenience restaurant meals because they're too tired to cook, $320 a month. Delivery fees and apps, $80 a month. Grocery delivery, $40 a month. Pre-made meals, $180 a month. Coffee and lunch out, $240 a month. Total convenience spending, $860 a month. The 1975 family with a stay-at-home parent spent maybe $150 a month on eating out, inflation adjusted. That's because someone had time to cook and pack lunches. Category 9 total, $280 per month as the pure exhaustion tax. Category 10, the career maintenance cost. To maintain their middle-class jobs, Sarah and her partner spend, professional wardrobe, $100 a month averaged. Dry cleaning, $60 a month. Professional development, $80 a month for courses and certifications. Networking events, $40 a month. LinkedIn Premium and Professional subscriptions, $50 a month. Total, $330 a month. The 1975 factory worker wore the same work clothes every day and had zero professional development costs. Category 10 total, $175 per month as the excess above what used to be required. Category 11, the social pressure spending. This is the most insidious. Sarah and her partner make $140,000 combined. Everyone around them at work, in their neighborhood, on social media appears to be living a certain lifestyle. Kids' birthday parties with entertainment, $600 a year. Holiday gifts for extended family and co-workers, $800 a year. Keeping up with kids' classmates' activities and gear, $1,200 a year. Social events like weddings, dinners, and outings, $1,000 a year. Total, $3,600 a year, $300 a month. The 1975 family faced much less of this. Social comparison was limited to your immediate neighborhood. You didn't see everyone's vacation photos or know what everyone's kids were doing. Category 11 total, $200 per month. Conservative estimate of keeping up with the Joneses spending driven by social media and peer pressure. Category 12, the retirement shortfall. The 1975 worker often had a pension. His retirement was funded by his employer. Sarah has a 401k, she contributes 6%, employer matches 3%. On $75,000, that's $562.50 a month going in. But here's the tax. She needs to save 15% of her income to retire comfortably at 65. That means she should be putting away $937.50 a month. She's $375 short. Her partner is in the same boat. Combined, they're underfunding retirement by about $750 a month because they can't afford to save more. The lifestyle they're locked into, driven by all the categories above, prevents them from saving adequately for retirement. The 1975 worker had a pension that required zero employee contribution. Category 12 total, $280 per month as a conservative estimate of the cost of self-funding retirement versus having a pension. Let's add it up. Housing premium, $602 a month. Transportation trap, $450 a month. Childcare penalty, $1,200 a month. Education inflation, $200 a month. Healthcare gouge, $420 a month. Debt service tax, $180 a month. Banking fee extraction, $55 a month. Insurance racket, $90 a month. Convenience tax, $280 a month. Career maintenance, $175 a month. Social pressure, $200 a month. Retirement shortfall, $280 a month. Total, $4,132 a month. Wait, I promised you $2,500 a month, not $4,132. Here's why I'm giving you the higher number honestly. Not all of these categories hit everyone the same way. If you don't have kids, you eliminate childcare and reduce social pressure. If you don't have student loans, you eliminate most of the debt service. If you live close to work, you reduce transportation and convenience. But here's the thing. If you're middle class, at least 8 out of these 12 are hitting you. For Sarah, all 12 apply. For you, maybe 8 to 10% apply. The conservative middle class tax, hitting most people, $2,500 to $3,000 a month. The comprehensive middle class tax, if you have kids in debt, $4,000 plus a month. Over a year, that's $30,000 to $48,000 extracted from your income simply because you're middle class. Over a 30-year working career, that's $900,000 to $1,440,000 that the 1975 middle-class family didn't have to pay. So where does this money go? Who's collecting your middle-class tax? Banks and lenders collect on the debt service, banking fees, and mortgage interest. They've designed the system so that you need credit to maintain a middle-class lifestyle, then they charge you 18% to borrow. Your employer benefits from transportation, childcare, and career maintenance. They know you need 2 incomes to survive, which means you can't leave, which means they don't have to pay you more. Your financial stress is their negotiating leverage. The healthcare industry collects the healthcare gouge. They've lobbied to keep healthcare tied to employment and to prevent single-payer systems that would cut costs. The education industrial complex collects education inflation. Universities have bloated administrative costs because they know middle-class families will pay anything and take on any debt for their kids. The housing market collects the housing premium. Artificially restricted supply plus bidding wars between dual-income households have made housing unaffordable. Consumer culture and social media drive the convenience and social pressure categories. They profit from your exhaustion and your need to appear successful. The financial industry profits from the retirement shortfall. They charge you fees to manage the retirement accounts you're forced to fund yourself. This isn't a conspiracy, this is just incentives. Each industry has figured out how to extract maximum revenue from people making $50,000 to $100,000 because that's where the most people are and where the most money flows. You're subsidizing everyone else. The wealthy don't pay these taxes. They have accountants, structures, and systems to avoid them. The poor can't pay these taxes. They're locked out of credit and home ownership entirely. The middle class is the profit center of the American economy, and the system is designed to keep you right there, making enough to afford the payments, but not enough to escape them. So what do you actually do about this? You can't eliminate all $2,500 to $4,000 a month of the middle class tax. The system is too entrenched. But you can reduce it by $800 to $1,200 a month with strategic choices. And that's the difference between running in place and actually building wealth. Solution 1. Refuse the housing premium. Don't buy the house in the good school district if it means stretching to 6 times your income. Buy the house at 3 to 4 times your income and supplement with private tutoring if needed, or homeschool, or move to a district where school quality isn't tied to housing prices. Savings, $200 to $400 a month. Solution 2. Optimize the dual income trap. If both partners work, treat one income as temporary. Live on the lower income, bank the higher income. This forces you to keep fixed costs low and gives you the backup plan the 1975 family had. Savings prevents future lifestyle inflation, protects $1,500 plus a month in potential savings. Solution 3. Cut the convenience tax ruthlessly. Meal prep on Sundays, pack lunches, make coffee at home. This isn't about being cheap, it's about refusing to pay the exhaustion tax. Savings, $200 to $300 a month. Solution 4. Attack the debt service tax. Every dollar of credit card interest is a dollar you're paying to be middle class. Pay off the high interest debt before investing, before upgrading anything, before anything else. Savings, $100 to $180 a month once debt is cleared. Solution 5. Build a $20,000 buffer. This is the emergency fund that makes you unprofitable to banks. No overdraft fees, no desperate loans, no credit card debt from unexpected expenses. This is your insurance policy against the system. Savings, $55 a month in banking fees, plus prevents future debt. Solution 6. Opt out of social pressure spending. Delete Instagram. Stop comparing. Your kid doesn't need the $400 birthday party. You don't need the luxury vacation everyone's posting about. This is the hardest one because it's psychological, but it's worth $200 to $300 a month. Savings, $200 to $300 a month. Total potential savings. If you implement all $755 to $1,235 a month, that's $9,000 to $15,000 a year you keep instead of paying the middle class tax. Over 30 years invested at 7% returns, that's $850,000 to $1,400,000 in wealth you build, instead of transfer to banks and corporations. Look, I'm not here to tell you that being middle class is a scam or that you should give up and move to Thailand. The middle class used to be the backbone of America. It used to mean stability, comfort, and a path to something better for your kids. But somewhere along the way, the system figured out that the middle class is the perfect extraction point. You make enough to have access to credit. You need enough to be desperate for dual incomes. You care enough about your kid's future to take on debt for education. You're afraid enough of being poor that you'll pay for insurance, convenience, and the appearance of success. You're paying $2,500 to $4,000 a month in invisible taxes that the 1975 middle class didn't pay. Not because you're irresponsible, not because you're bad with money, but because the game changed and nobody told you. The 1975 family had margin, they had options, they had a backup plan. You don't, and that's not an accident. That's the design. But here's the thing, once you see the receipt, once you know where your money's going and who's collecting it, you can make different choices. You can refuse to play parts of this game. You can opt out of the categories that don't serve you. You can build the buffer that gives you options again. You can't go back to 1975, but you can stop voluntarily paying a tax that's designed to keep you exactly where you are. The system wants you making $60,000 to $100,000 forever, just enough to afford the payments, not enough to escape them, prove them wrong. If this video showed you where your money's actually going, hit subscribe. I break down the systems that keep people stuck and the math to get unstuck. Comment below which category hits you the hardest. Let's compare notes. And if you want to calculate your exact middle class tax, I built a calculator. Link in the description. Put in your numbers, see your receipt. I'll see you in the next one.